Rabotai, Parashat Vayetze. This is a multi-million-dollar question, and I see Isaac is here today, so we're going to ask. Last time he got it right, so let's see it again today. Let's see who goes 2 for 2. Rabotai, Vayetze, what happens over here? Who is getting married? Yaakov. Anna, how are you? Yaakov is getting married. And now Yaakov gets tricked. Who does he get? Instead, he's supposed to get Rachel, and he gets Leah instead. Now, how many years does Yaakov work for Rachel? 7 years. He gets tricked, and he gets Leah instead. Comes to his dear father-in-law, Lavan, tells him, "You tricked me." Huh? He says, "You tricked me." What does he answer to Yaakov? Listen, over here, we say that the older one gets first rights, and then the younger one. To be honest, the Mefarshim explained he was giving him like a little bit of a jab. Because he's saying, listen, you took Esav's Bechor. You took the firstborn. Oh man, we don't play like that. Meanwhile, Yaakov was deserving for the Bechor. But he played it in that situation to give him a little knocker. Alright, so he says, by us we do the first. Bechorah is Leah. Then we'll give you Rachel. Now, after he gets tricks, guess what? Work. Lavan says, how many more years? 7 years if you want Rachel. And Yaakov works the 7 years like no problem. I mean, after 1 week, he got to marry her, and then he continued working for 7 years. But if you were Yaakov, wouldn't you be saying, listen, excuse me, I'll work for a year, I'll work for 2 years. I'm sure Lavan would agree. A good businessman would be like, listen, 1 second, I already worked 7 years. Okay, now you want to sketch me a little bit? I'll work another year. I'll work a few months. But 7 more years? Come on. Why didn't Yaakov argue about those years? Anybody can give me an answer? First of all, you like the question? Isaac, do you hear the question? Yeah, why did he argue? Think about what's going on. I already did my share. You told me work 7 years. I worked 7 years. I did my part. I don't understand what you want from me. So you want a little bit bonus? I'll work for you a little bit more. But 7 years? How come Yaakov is not playing the game and say, listen, 2 years, 3 years, 1 year. Come on, 7 years? Yaakov is a very smart man.
No negotiation?
No negotiation? Come on. You don't understand that he already did his dues. He paid his bill. You told me work 7 years, I already did it. Now you want to give me a bonus, this, that. Okay, I'll give you a bonus. I'll work a year. But come on, 7 more years?
It's to make up for the fact that he took the Bechor. Maybe that's...
I don't know about that one. He already worked the 7 years. He worked that 7 years. You have an answer, Isaac, or no? Today you're silent. All right, anyway.
I can speculate. I don't know.
You speculate, but speculate if it's a good answer. Don't just speculate Hakim Balash.
And come back to him and say, hey, I only did a year. I did another 7.
He wants to say, no negate, I did my full part. But he should have said in the beginning, that would have been his term. What do you want to say?
He's a tzaddik. He knows that this is what happened. He married the girl already, and he got her. He got a girl.
And therefore what? You're not answering.
What's he going to do? He's going to get upset?
No, but he could have argued with a Yaakov and say, listen, I work for Rachel, but I'm not working another 7 years like you did to Leah. Come on. Yes. I'll argue with him. Say, listen, I worked 7 years. I'll work for Rachel also, but not 7 years. Come on, give me a year, 2 years.
That's going to be as if one is worth less than the other one.
This guy, Isaac! Don't underestimate this fella. Don't underestimate this guy. Isaac Shrem, right? All right, I'll say that over. He deserves credit for that. I'll say that over. Everybody was thinking that. Everybody was thinking that. But let me tell you exactly what's going on. Rabotai, please listen very carefully. To answer this question is very simple. Rav David Feinstein answers what we just said. Rav David Feinstein says, think about it. Yaakov worked 7 years for Leah. Now, all of a sudden, what happens now? How does Leah feel now if she's like, her self-worth is not mandated. Think about it. Imagine Yaakov says, listen, I'm working another year, but that's because I got sketch. What are you trying to say in essence? You're trying to say that Le'ah is not really worth, Le'ah, that isn't deserving of the 7 years. Because Rachel, I was working for Rachel, so I'll work 7 years. But now you want to sketch me up? I'm only working 1 month, 1 year, 2 years. That means you're not showing the same value to both women. You're not showing the same value for Rachel Imenu and for Leah Imenu. And therefore, for each lady not to feel bad, she's saying, I'll work the full 7 years for you because it's well worth it. And I'll work the full 7 years for you because it's well worth it. In order not to downgrade any lady, not to downgrade any feelings of another person, Yaakov is willing to go another 7 years not to make a person feel bad. You understand the level of Yaakov? You understand the level of Yaakov we're holding over here? It's not a joke. And Abotai, with that, I give you many examples. I'll give you 2 examples, just randomly. First example, which I like, is that a person has to feel for the other person. And that is, I remember I was getting married. I had marriage classes from Rav David Lopyan. You ever hear of Rav David Lopyan? He's Rav Eli Lopyan's grandson. And I used to learn with him for a few months, Chavruta 101. Had the privilege, had the honor. And before I got married, he told me, listen, I'm going to give you marriage of 1 booster, 2 hour clear, like 1 knaka. I said, Rabbi, I'll be there, show me, I'll be. Anyway, we're sitting down in the class, 101. He tells me like this. He says, you're going to be Khatan tomorrow night. I said, correct. He says, let me tell you some advice. People are going to be dancing in front of you. They're going to be dancing. So he says, just focus on the person that's dancing in front of you. Because you'll see sometimes in weddings where the guy is going crazy in the middle, and the Hatan is having a drink, looking at his cup, this, that, what I'm saying? And the guy's pouring out his heart, sweating it out for the Hatan. Says, even though you're a Hatan, we know Hatan's like the king, like the Melech, everything like that. But at the end of the day, show respect to the person that's dancing in front of you. And look at him. Give him eye contact. Give him eye contact. Why? It shows a decency and a respect that a person has for another person. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's like Yaakov Avinu. What he did was, he didn't want any lady to feel bad. So therefore, he worked the same amount for her, just for her. Otherwise, people say, she's really only worth 1 year, not special. No, she's worth the full 7. And he didn't want to make it feel bad. You don't make people feel bad. About that, it happens, maybe when you were younger, or maybe you're a father now, but listen to this. How many times it happened? It happened to me the other day, actually. I came home, and I came home with ring pops. You know those ring pops? Things like that. And I had a few. When I got there, thank you, Orion. When I got there, I saw my daughters, but they also had friends. So I didn't have enough for all the friends. I had, for my daughters, I gave one. I said to myself, wait, 1 second. I thought before, if I give one right now, I'm so excited. I got them ring pops, this, that. So I'm about to give it 1, 2, 3. But I said, what about their friends? You see, at the end of the day, I could have gave out the ring pops. No problem. I have a right. I'm the daddy. And the other kids might know, it's the daddy. The daddy can give. I'm not his daughter. But I stopped myself. Why? Because you got to think about the people around you. You hear that, Rabotai? You have to think. You have to have feelings. And the Torah is very, 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 very careful. They even say B'Shem the Hazon Ish. How important it is that he was testifying upon himself as well as other Gdolim. How they made sure in their entire life never to hurt another individual. Now, why is that? Why is it so important not to hurt another individual? Now, if you're a father or a mother, or you have any child, you'll see. Hopefully it'll never happen to you. But sometimes what happens is, another person, right, another sibling in the house will hit another child. They're playing dodgeball, let's say, right? They're playing dodgeball, she got out. All of a sudden she takes the ball, you got me out, yeah, you think you're so good, you got me out? Boom, she chucks it on her face, the other girl's face, boom, on the face, right? And all of a sudden you see and it's right in front of your face. right in front of the daddy's face. Imagine you see another daughter throwing a dodgeball or another son. I'm sure it happens more with the boys than the girls. You have the boy chucking like a football straight at his brother's face. Boom! Take that, you piece. It throws it. Boom. Right? You have it yet? Somebody showed me a video yesterday of the teenagers in the back. But I saw that actually. They broke, I don't know what they broke in the house. But imagine, right? You have a big fight, a brawl out in front of the father's face. Do you know the father's sensation when he feels at that moment? The feeling is like, you didn't hit my son. You didn't hit my daughter. You hit me. And you hit me so bad. I wish they personally threw the football at the father's face. The father wishes. I wish they threw it at my face than my child's face. I'll never forget one time. I was in a place one time. And I was very young. I was like 13 and a half, 14. I was just bar mitzvahed. And there was another kid who was messing around, like a 9-year-old, messing around with a 5-year-old. And always messing around. You know, you're in the shul growing up, the 9-year-old's messing around the 5-year-old. And I'm seeing, I was like, whoa, this guy's like, stop, he wasn't stopping this kid. Finally, this little 5-year-old went upstairs to get his dad. Now, I'm there, His dad came down and saw that the 9-year-old was hitting the 5-year-old kid, his own son. I'm not saying right or wrong. I mean, I don't know. But what I saw was, the father just took the 9-year-old kid, gave him a 5-finger right in his face. Fuck! Oh my goodness, the whole room heard that slap. Like, yo, hello! He's a 9-year-old kid! He's a 9-year-old boy! Fuck! And I was thinking to myself, as growing up, I'll never forget that episode. I was like, how could a father that's 50 years old hit a 9-year-old kid? A 5-finger like that with, what happened? So I was thinking, you could understand, when you become a father, you realize when somebody touches your kid, it's like you mess with the father himself. You mess with me, I'll kill you, I'll go crazy. The guy's not thinking. And I will tell you, when you, heaven forbid, hurt another Jew, you know what you're doing? You're hurting Hashem. You know what I just said? When you hurt another Jew, you are hurting Borei Olam himself, because that's an extension of Hashem. That's his child right there. Do you realize what you just did? You hurt my child. You're hurting me. When Hashem sees mahloket, so I'm saying, people think, oh, mahloket, big deal, what's mahloket? You don't understand, when Hashem sees mahloket, he feels pain. He feels pain. I'll never forget myself. I one time was at a house and I said, your father looks very distressed. The father was in the 90s. And he said, and the son said, he is. I said, why? He said, because in the family there's brotherly rivalry about a business. And it doesn't give my father rest. All day long he's thinking that let my 2 sons be in peace. Why? Why is he so hurt? Because when brothers are fighting, or anybody for that matter is fighting, it hurts the father. I will tell you, we're all Hashem's children. If heaven forbid you hurt another Jew, heaven forbid you hurt another Jew, you should just know you're hurting Kivyachol Hashem. Kivyachol, you're hurting Hashem. And that's why Lashon Hara, what's the big deal, Lashon Hara? What's the big deal? It's true, Rabbi. It's true. The guy is this. Yeah, it's 100% true. You're right, but you know who he is? He's Hashem's child. Hashem, you're hurting Hashem. You're hurting Hashem, Kivyachol, you're hurting. You want to hurt Hashem? B'chavol, speak Lashon Hara, no problem, speak Lashon Hara. It has to have a certain sensitivity that you have to have in your life and to understand he's Jewish, he's my brother, he's Hashem's child. If I mess with him, I'm messing with Hashem. That's it, I back off. You understand? And this, where do we learn this from? All from Yaakov Avinu. Because Yaakov didn't want to hurt the other sister. And therefore she said, no, they're both equal. 7 years for this lady and 7 years for this lady. Sarah and Leah and Rivka, same level. You hear that, Albert? Albert, please.